Well, hello, and welcome back to the BackLog, and welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. For those of you who have seen our playthrough of Citizen Sleeper, the original, I am super excited. You know I'm super excited about this game. It was one of my favorite games that we played last year. I played it after it had been out for a while, but this just came out, and I'm super excited to dive right in. I love the dice, I love the narrative, so let's get going. I'm going to shut up now so that I can keep talking. Let's go. And yes, we're going to go with standard, risky, the intended difficulty for those to be happy to be challenged. Okay, cool. Broken dice cannot be used. Wait, what? Oh no. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant permanent penalty. There's death now? Oh. I didn't die the entire last time. We'll see what's going on. All right, skills. Push. Hold on, this is gonna take a second. I've gotta endure. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones, remote change. All right, I think we're gonna go with the engineer class. I think that's what we did last time. Maybe we might have taken the operator last time, but I think we're gonna go with engineer here. I don't know what this whole push thing is about. I'm excited. Let's go. Let's explore. Oh, I love the sounds are back. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then it's context, the breeze of the air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in zero-G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles. Fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you're unmoored in space. Your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives. The fear. It's a scrambled, panicked fear, the drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It's the fear that tells you something is wrong, something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper! The voice is whispered in your ear, an act that makes you suddenly aware of your head pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name. A mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their debt is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper. That's what you are. But you escaped. You remember that now, broke free of your corporate creators, SNARP, in search of a future. You can't remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden you remember. You have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes in a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt. A sharp smirk. But this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away, to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body doesn't respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough. The vial glitters. This object you know, and have known for a long time, stabilizer. The drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid rolling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial. But it would be wasted on you now, after what you've done to this body of yours. He looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you. Those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free. You garbage. They don't need you anymore. The voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It's a voice you know, and when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up, Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact, of pain, from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. No, you aren't free. You're just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard, and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it, but your emulation... You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of your sight. You feel yourself rolling. The cables plugged into you, looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey. He waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you, and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on, come on, come on. He tugs the connector clear and pulls you up. You see the room you're in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glittering constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move! You're wrenched and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you're out, in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley. The one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember his station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eye. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead, and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown cross his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city, growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Oh my. You see something like fear in his eyes. Panic, perhaps. You stare hard at his face. The slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He's speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the processing. He lifts his head and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you're led through the passages and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There, your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You were Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait. Your guide holds up a hand and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide open bay with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels. The docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it. One covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. But Subo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. Oh, this. It's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye, and you see he's playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphim, all right? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was your captor. Both of us. We did this so we could escape. We needed to reboot you, to break your dependence on stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. I've got it. Get that door open. He pats you on the shoulder. I know you can do this. Seraphim kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over here, he bellows to the guards as he barrels through. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait a breath, then glide across to the door they were guarding. You look already panicked. At the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Skill checks. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks. Yes, like the dice action you'll encounter later. Skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. Good, yes. The better rating of your skill, the more likely you'll succeed on a check. The odds of successes are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide. Cool. Okay, 50% positive and neutral. This has a positive, neutral, or negative. Yeah, so we're better at engineering. We don't have any dice. Oh, because we roll them now. Oh, no. You shift to the central access panel and wrench it open. It only takes a moment to understand the mechanism, and you reach in and snap the locking access, the door popping open with a hiss. Go, go! Seraphim flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphim. Seraphim's already at the ring's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open and you both rush inside. Quickly! Seraphim grabs you by the arm and drags you up into the cockpit. the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you into a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles to life, and Seraphin slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Oh ho ho! I thought we were going to be stuck on Darkside for a while, but no, we've escaped. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphin burned hard out of Darkside, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphin breaks the silence. We're good, Sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked the ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. Yeah, stay silent. He shakes his head and then unclips from the pilot seat. Seraphin reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize, is just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short, percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphin kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cyan. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not going to let us slip away quietly, he sighs. We need to talk. We keep running. We hide here. Say both of these are really good. We keep running. That's great. It's a good idea. And we also need to talk at some point. Let's talk. Seraphin furrows his brows. Not now, Sleeper. We need to forget. He flinches, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than... He pauses again, unsure. Us, he sighs. We need to survive this thing first, then maybe we talk. Fine. Seraphin nods, but the tension remains. We bought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do. And there are plenty of opportunities here for us, if we can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides toward the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's insides. So we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, Sleeper, it's out of work. Now I'm going to get myself reacquainted. See if I can turn up any old connections. People that might throw us an easy contract. You? He glances back over his shoulder. You keep out of trouble. I can handle myself. Seraphin stops at the airlock. Look, Sleeper, you aren't yourself, he sighs. Stopping the reboot halfway through, he pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts pulling it on. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into a sleeve. I don't want you passing out and... He stops. I'll be fine. Seraphin drops his head, swearing to himself. Language! He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the hood up, will you? You take it and slip on. Thanks. Seraphin nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open and Seraphin glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing. Meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a terrible idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look after you. A flash of relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo-jets. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies. He grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphin kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, all right? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. And with that, he's gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. You'll wait for a moment in silence. Make a plan. Oh, let's make a plan. You try to think ahead to what might be coming. You'll need to work. That's the first step. But what then? Lane will be coming eventually. The sooner you can put some distance between you and Hexport, the better. So that's the plan. Rest, resupply, and run. It's a good plan. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. All right, we are here. Mouse wheel to scroll your view. Yes, very good. Runs and cycles. Good. Oh, yeah, tutorial. The rig is your ship and home in the Starward belt, where the rig is docked at a hub or multiple areas where you can visit. Bunks, use dice to reduce stress. Galley, use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play while the rig... Okay, so we've got a crew tasks we can do. Good. Oh, we've got a glitch and a push, but I don't think those are available. Oh, and we have a map. Belts unavailable. Okay, so we don't have a map yet. We're still in the tutorial phase. Okay, cool. So we've got Hexport docks and Hexport exchange. I mean, but it looks like we have energy. Yeah, okay. So this costs supplies to make a meal to get energy back. Okay, gotcha. I guess let's go explore the docks. Okay, so that's all the same. Good. Hexport connections. Ah, yes, we can make connections. All right, so this is an engage and this is an intuit, and neither of these are great for me. And I don't know what these symbols are. Input dice. There are plenty of crews milling about the docks. They could be a good source of info. I'm not great at intuit, right? Oh, okay. So, I have 0 points available. I am terrible at engage. Or am I really good at engage? No, I think I'm just terrible. I just can't engage. I don't talk to people. I wonder if I can unlock that at some point. Oh, no. Apparently, yeah, okay. So this is double negative here. So this is just going to be bad if we try to endure. But everything else is kind of normal except for engage, which is just always going to be bad. This one we've got a +2, but we can get a 2+. Okay. All right, I get it. What's this, though? Let's see. So accrue stress to focus an action die. Focus die, positive outcome. +1 to affected dice. Oh! So we can either just make the dice better and still have the stress, or we can get rid of the stress. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is cool. I like this. Anyway, that's not what we want. We want to come over here. What's this? Okay, engineering, trade scrap. Trading scrap is all about identifying materials and cleaning up components. It's an engineer's job more than a trader's. And then this one is risky, but uses interface, which we don't get a plus at, but we don't get a negative at. All right. This one is just okay, so this is a just always going to be bad for me. And this one's going to be okay for me. So this engage, we don't chat. We don't chat. We don't talk with people. People are scary. All right, well, let's come over here to this exchange. And then do this trade scrap, because we get a plus. That makes this pretty much just 100% positive. What if we come over here? 50% positive and neutral? What about this? Let's make this a 2. Okay, it's a crapshoot. Let's just do this. We're gonna do this for sure. Rules of the exchange, we got half of it. You just progressed a clock. Yes, I did. And what, I missed the other thing. What was that other thing? I don't know, let's do it again. Extra cryo, okay, cool. And then we've done this rules that would exchange buzzes with conversation of commerce. This is a place where contracts are found. You just need to look. You just gotta look. New location. All right, I figured it would be a new location. Very nice. The Hexport Trade Hall or the canteen. Ah, okay, we found a place we can eat. Here, you can eat in exchange for cryo. It's a bit expensive. 13's a bit much. Where's my mushroom guy? Okay, and then this. Oh, okay. Buy fuel. Okay, we can get fuel for 5 each. And we can only hold 5. Okay, so we can just fill up. Oh, yeah, there we go. Cool. And supplies. We can also buy supplies. Nice. Okay, so we've got 1 just is gonna happen, it's gonna be good die. And then 2, it's probably not gonna happen dice. This is dangerous. This gives a 100% negative. Yeah. Oh, see, that's still bad. Okay, so what if we come over here? What if I put this down here? Just 100% positive, we're exploring the docks. What are we getting? Oh, Hexport Expert, we're halfway there. Nice. Now, what's the chances we do this? 50-50. Not loving that. Oh, but I did find the Ben's Chaotic Dockside Bar. Okay, so I did a little explore. Maybe we finish explore the next turn. Buy a Ben's Fry, a plastic bag of flash-fried, salt-flecked tubers. The Ben's Fry. I think that's a Futurama reference right there, but I don't know. Bring spacers back to the scattered tables of the bar cycle after cycle. But what do you get from it? I don't know what we get from it. I don't know how much energy it provides. Play Star and Stoker. Oh no. It's an intuit, so I don't get any bonuses. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that at all. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I've got 2 dice, and I don't know what to do with any of them. Eat at the canteen. I don't have my push ability, and I don't know what glitch means. Oh, maybe that's what happens if you die or something? Ugh. Well, I was told to eat. So maybe we do that? Or, wait, hold on. This requires supplies to make a meal. Rest and recover. Maybe we do that. Oh no. I could rest wrong. Oh no. Well, let's see what happens. Ah, recovery failed. Well, we might as well try again. I mean, we haven't lost anything really. No, we've lost both dice. Okay, you have used all of your dice for this cycle. You need to end the cycle at your ship, the rig, to re-roll them. Okay, cool. So we don't have to, like, sleep. We just tell them, hey, we're going to sleep. But then I notice each one of these dice has, like, a health bar. Not sure I like that. Not sure I'm feeling that. I don't know. Okay, so we got a bunch of cryo. We found a bunch of new places. We've finished up one whole place. That's a pretty good cycle. Let's go ahead and end the cycle, see how this goes. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphin leans into the bunks as you're getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes, and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphin is a silhouette, silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphin's inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the zero-G engine room. You know what these are? No. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air, and before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What happened? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We were lucky the reserve tank is empty. Otherwise, he shakes his head, it would have been bad. But, he pushes the pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps a large lump in housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it? Yeah, we need to leave. Seraphin sighs. That's the short of it. Seraphin whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. I'll need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. So how about you try and track them down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard at Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find ship fitters. No, that's a different word than the one I thought. Yeah, maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Okay, I'll take a look. He keeps working. Wait, Seraphin pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. He frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. And we can't leave. Exactly. Seraphin sighs, which is why we need those feed lines. I'm going to try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no shoplifter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles, a weak smile. Get going. You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphin's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines. That's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. Hey, we've got a new drive. Yes, and drives are great because they give us points that we can use on ourselves. Escape Hexport. We've got to find a shoplifter. Let's go. All right, and we did not end up with any guaranteed dice, but also we didn't end up with any terrible dice, so that's pretty good. Oh, wait, hold on. I saw something. What is this? Input the feed lines. Okay, so we can come here and possibly get new connections. We've got, all of these are 4s except for 1 and 3. Okay, let's try. Come on, get us a good one, a nice 3. Here we go. Boom. Oh, I lost an energy, but I did get a little bit over here. Come on, give us 2, at least 2. There we go. Now we are experts at the docks. We know where everything is. As you're gliding across the docking concourse, you hear a scuffle. The noise of raised voices cuts through the conversation, drifting out of the dockside shops. Glancing down an alley, you see a huddle of figures shouting back and forth. You spot one man in the middle of the group surrounded, pushing the others back as they grab the bag slung over his shoulder. You don't like the way this looks, but then again, Seraphin told you to keep your head down. Oh no. Cause a distraction or into it? Let's cause a distraction. Oh boy. Neutral outcome. Check passed. You look around for something that could break up the fight and see the thick cooling pipes running down the alley wall. You quickly try to understand the system and choose a valve to start spinning. As you do, the system begins to vent in sequence down the alley, violent jets randomly bursting into the air. There's a scramble in the alley, and you spot the figure who was being attacked drop down to the alley floor. And your vision instantly fills with pale liquid as a jet of coolant jumps out nearby, misting you, but sending you spinning in zero G. After a few moments, you manage to steady yourself. As you do, you see a clear alley, the assailants having fled, with one figure gliding towards you. I suppose you think that was clever. The man gives you a severe look. You like to break up fights you didn't start. He laughs. Belt's gonna eat you up. He shifts the large bags on his shoulder, weightless but unwieldy in 0G. I was helping? I was helping. The man laughs. Well, he shakes his head. Thanks, I guess. He kicks off and drifts past you. You watch the man go, and then, after a moment, he stops and turns back. He rubs his forehead, looking down as he does. What's your deal anyway? He sighs. Maybe you're new here, but Hexport is no place for do-gooders. You needed help. I know what it's like. I need help. All of these are really good answers. See, that's the thing I love about this game series so far. It's just really good dialogue choices here. To get beat up? The man shakes his head. Exports got real tough. Look, let's not hang around, all right? The man pats his chest. I'm Femi. He unshoulders one of the bags and pushes it towards you. Make yourself useful. Let's head. You get the strap of the bag over your shoulder and follow him through the docks, gliding past the concourse toward the connecting bridges. He cuts down a side passage, looking back to check you're following. Then he stops at the docking bridge, connecting to a dull green ship with yellow markings. You look out the viewing window at its odd, catamaran-like shape, seemingly built from two separate hulls welded together. Symbol crash, he says, and you assume that's the ship's name. Phoebe, you bringing in strays? A young woman, brightly dressed and stretching as she glides, drifts into the passage. She glances at you. No offense. Nia, Femi shakes his head. This one, he squeezes your shoulder. He helped me fend off some Hexport scum while you were busy sunning yourself. Nia raises an eyebrow. I'm sure you could handle them, big brother. Her glib response hides the flash of concern that passes across her face. You can't tell if Femi noticed. I guess maybe she should sound Russian too, if they're brother and sister. I don't know. It's just, it's a sci-fi world here, so we're set out far enough that apparently we've started an Oort cloud with solar stuff going on. So I don't know. Nia turns to you. Thanks, she smiles sweetly. And I'm sorry for my brother. She shoots him a glass. Just in general. Nia, Femi murmurs. Enough now. He reaches over and takes the bag you were carrying. Nia rolls her eyes at you, but stays silent. Factory Row wouldn't take these. Femi hefts the bags. I'm going to load them back up. Maybe we'll find a use for them. He turns back to you. Thanks for the assist, Sleeper. He nods firmly. Not what I expected. He slaps the button for the bridge door and kicks off along the docking bridge on his way to the symbol crash. Nia looks at you with raised eyebrows. I hope my brother was joking. But did you really help him? I tried. Thank you. She looks back at the ship. My brother needs more help than he admits. What do you mean? She tenses. I don't know if... She smiles a tight smile. I shouldn't have said anything. She pauses, thinking. I want to ask you something. She takes a deep breath and gives you a direct look. What's she building up to? Are you looking for crew? She looks away. Sorry to be direct, but you seem like... Well, if you're on Hexport, maybe you're with a crew. She stops herself. I mean, maybe your crew needs crew? Maybe you're looking? What do you ask? Neil looks back at the ship, then at you. Look, I'll be honest. Being on a crew with my brother's nice, but he is suffocating me. She frowns at her own bluntness. I'm not a kid anymore, you know? But he still sees me like one. She shrugs. I want to show him I can handle myself. I need experience. I need to run some contracts. She gives you a determined look. What do you say? I'll think about it. Shouldn't I ask your brother? I'm not sure. I'll think about it. I'm a good salvager, all right. You can use me, she smiles. I can spot things, find gaps, ways in. She folds her arms across her chest. I know what I'm doing. Femi taught me well. She glances back at the ship. Just consider it, all right? Let me prove myself. Suddenly a shout comes from the ship, echoing down the passage. Femi, he makes both of you nervous. Nia looks in his direction. I should go. She pushes off towards the docking bridge. I'll be waiting. Nia gives you one last glance as she departs, and disappears into the docking bridge, leaving you alone in the passage. New local crew available? What's that even about? I'm excited. Okay, all right. So, Factory Row, Ramshackle Fabrication Center, Export Canteen, Trade Hall, the warehouse, and the bins. Okay, so this is the only new place other than the other place. Freight loading. It's an endure task, which is not good for me. Bill. No, don't like it. All right, we'll come over here to Factory Row. Seriously? None of these are great. Fine, we'll come over here. Oh, no. Oh, absolutely not. Fine, okay. Search the row. Oh, no. We did get a trusted supplier, though. Oh, we are starving. You've used all your energy, are now starving. While starving, you gain 1 stress per cycle, and your energy lost... Crew stress... Oh, crud. Okay, well, we better go get some food, then. Hold on, let me think about this. Okay, so the Ben's Fry costs 7. And I don't know what it gets us. Or we can come down here to the canteen. It costs 13, and I don't know how much it gets us. Or we can come over here and pick up a supply for 15. And then come to the rig and cook that supply. Yeah, okay. So that's not terribly great. So I think what we're gonna do for today, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna see how much the Ben's Fry does. Yeah, it doesn't even say how many energy. All right, here we go. 2 energy. All right, so the Ben's Fry is the 2 energy. Quick little snack to keep us going. Don't want to do the warehouse because we're just entirely bad at that. Yeah, I guess we gotta keep staying down here and searching the road. Hopefully we'll get a better outcome. Here we go. Let's try it. Okay, good. Well, I think that's a neutral. Yeah, neutral outcome. So if we get a positive outcome here, it might actually finish this. Otherwise, most likely, it looks like we're getting just 1 more for today. Oh, we did! We got the positive outcome. Cool, we are a trusted supplier. Oh, what do we find? Factory Row howls as you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind. Whirring manufactories, precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms. Well, scrapers hammer incessantly at the bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there's energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector, and even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It is familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it's hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors. 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild, flickering city growing on her back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial, but deep in Factory Row, you could almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them. Tubes. Just like those Seraphim had waved in your face. The feed lines. You push over to the display window of the unit marked Karsten's Supply in block capitals cut out from hull plate. There, amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components, sit the feed lines, like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside, where the sound of Factory Row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench, hunched over, concentrating. It seems he doesn't notice you enter. Let's wait patiently. You let him work, watching as, despite his heavy build, he delicately aligns the components, their layers slotting like puzzle pieces. After a few moments of observing the process, he turns his head a little towards you. Can I help you? His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. Those feed lines, how much? Nice place you have. Yeah, don't just jump right onto the thing that I want. Just be like, yeah, nice place you have. You see a little reaction from the profile of Karsten's face. He grunts. Something you need? Before you can respond, he tracks your eyes to the feed lines in the window. He looks back at you with a subtly changed expression, one you can't quite place. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on a cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karsten's thick-set features don't betray the results of his assessment. Custom built those, for a client that never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. One of the old Mev, then? He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognize as he speaks. So as a Mev. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. That's right. Karsten nods. Always good to see one of those still running. Look, Karsten drifts over to where you're standing, his imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you, he continues in a distinctive monotone, let's say a few hundred cryo and clean chits. He shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. 400? 400, Karsten says back, repeating your question without the emphasis. It's expensive, I know. It's a shame, but it's just what they're worth. He screws up his mouth a little into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of the bartering type myself anyway. Barter sounds good. Karsten nods sagely. There's a little favor I need a crew for. And, well, you look like you might be a good fit. He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hands. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there. Very old. Pre-collapse. It's tucked away in the dead zone, so no one has ever really got it, he shrugs. Not only that, but the Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by an unfamiliar ship. So it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you, with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming, he smiles. I have a special interest. I need for that old tech. All those Solheim ships had a data core. And while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they kept on that thing, I do care about the hardware. So if I was to find you back here, with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well then, I could see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines. Karsten pauses, sniffs at the air again. You just need the coordinates. Simple as that. Why do you want it? Simple as that. Simple as that, he repeats in his monotone way. So you interested? He glances back at his workbench. Because I'm a busy man. Fine. We can do it. All right then. He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. Karsten pulls you closer, squeezing your arm.
Let's keep this one between us, all right?
He half smiles, his face huge and close.
It's our deal.
Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm.
Those coordinates.
And then he lets go of your arm with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air, Karsten having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Karsten's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach, and the cacophony of Factory Row in your ears. A contract. Seraphin might even be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind, in possession of an improved ship, too. Suddenly a small but firm hand falls on your back, an equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! You turn in the passage to see a young woman, her hair waving from the rapid glide she clearly just came out of to catch you. She steadies herself using your shoulder. Sorry, she smiles, a quick and flat smile. I wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flick around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrapers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. What's up? Karsten, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles, that flat smile again. Wants me to come with you on that job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. Why didn't he tell me? She glances back towards Karsten's. I guess he forgot? He does that sometimes. She looks sheepishly at you. He just grabbed me after you two were done talking, so... Karsten's always sending me on things like this. I guess he wants me to help you out. Keep an eye on things. She pauses. I can be pretty helpful. So... She looks around the passage. Should I meet you at your ship and you can tell me when you're ready to go? Sounds good. All right, Junie. Okay, great. Her eyes light up. She notices she still has her hand on your shoulder and takes it off. Junie pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you, she calls back as an afterthought. What about the ship? Oh, I'll find it, she calls back, and then disappears down the passage. You watch her go, glad of the contract, but nervous too. Will Karsten keep up his side of the bargain if you deliver? Oh, new location discovered, new local crew available. Oh, no.
I don't know about this sleeper.
Seraphin looks nervously out of the rig's windows as you finish explaining Karsten's deal as well as Junie's offer for help. If this job was easy, Karsten would have done it himself already. That means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars. And there's definitely something going on with this Junie girl. He shakes his head. No choice do we have. I think it's a lucky break. What if, Seraphin narrows his eyes, we could get the cryo together to buy the feed lines? Why? Karsten wants to barter. You're right. Seraphin sighs. I just can't shake the feeling that we're wandering in blind. Plus, Seraphin gives you a sly look. I did manage to turn something up in my station wandering. I found a contract board at the exchange further in station. He gestures towards Hexport. We take on a job, that might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Karsten's job, a bit of money to get ourselves prepared wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies, get ready for whatever comes. I'll take a look. Good. Seraphin nods. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew, too. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we stop messing around. We take Karsten's job right now and get it done before he can think twice. Seraphin yawns. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, we've still got work to do on the drive. Seraphin nods a farewell, heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. For a moment, you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle on your mind. Suddenly you curl up, pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth, your muscles lock tight. Your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift, as if some connection is broken. It's almost impossible to describe, like you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There's nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth, and then another shift comes and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb, then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain. A disconnection between your body and yourself, a flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation you'll have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might preserve for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they're yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. Woo! Unlocked a contract. Open the map screen to view it. Oh, nice. And we've got new places to explore. 3 new places over here. Some old places. We've only used 1, but we're going to have to use that up. Aha! Contracts are high-risk, high-reward jobs that you and your crew can take on. Contracts require preparation and care to succeed, so you'll need to gather enough fuel to travel to the contract, gather as many supplies as you can afford to keep, and you and your crew going. Look for opportunities to recruit crew, temporarily or permanently help you on contract. Consider which crew to take carefully. They have different skills and stress resistances, and who you choose can affect the story. Once you're ready, you can select the contract from the map. Oh, man. We may have to make multiple runs of this. Oh, snap. Look. There's people. We don't have enough supplies for diddly squat. Danger. Okay, so this will take at least 3 fuel to get there. Cool. Okay, well, we've made pretty good progress. We will come back tomorrow and make some more. Thanks for joining us. I'll play with you again later.